Falkirk TV is proudly sponsored by GM Landscape UK.
John, Ayr United at home tomorrow. How are you feeling going into what's potentially the biggest game of the season so far?
I think we've had a few big games, but anyway, this is just another one. Excited, absolutely. I mean, we've got a huge crowd here tomorrow, which is testament to everything, all the work that's been getting done, selling out. Most weeks selling out, and obviously opening up the North Stand and getting more Falkirk fans in there as well. It speaks volumes for the work that's been getting done and the players for the way they've been playing and the results they've been getting. We sit at the top of the table, air breathing down our necks. So it's a really, really exciting game to look forward to. As I said previously, we won the game here earlier in the season. They won the game down at their place. Two teams finally balanced, two teams playing different ways, but it's very much not a lot going to be between the two teams, I don't think.
And I guess that obviously it's still too early for any game to be deciding what happens at the end of the season, but it would be how much of a massive boost would it be to extend that gap at the top? Yeah,
well, obviously we've got to be positive and think about that, and if we can get ourselves a 5-point gap, then it's a bit of delight. But it won't make any difference, really, win, lose or draw. There'll still be 12 games to go, 36 points to play for, and a hell of a lot of twists and turns to happen. So either way, we'll not be getting carried away, and we'll not be getting too downbeat if things don't go for us. You've got to look at all situations. We are very positive going into the game on the back of a really, really good result, and getting a 5-point lead, an opportunity without getting too carried away, because we played it Friday night. Got the opportunity to make that 8 points before Ayr play Livingston the following Saturday. So as much as everything goes into this game, there's we need to be the first one to have a wee look at that and say, can we go and get 8 points ahead by next Friday night at 10 o'clock, so to speak. So it all comes down to tomorrow. Win the game tomorrow. It'll take a huge effort, and we'll need to be really, really switched on for the whole game. They're a threat. George Oakley's been a standout player for them. He's been scoring goals for fun, and he needs to be taken care of tomorrow. We need to try and stop the source of crosses that come into the box. And we'll need to be, our centre backs will need to be really, really on it. So, but they're not alone, the whole team. But at the same time, we've got to cause Ayr United problems. We have to be on the front foot, right from the start. Very much, atmosphere will be electric tomorrow. And we're, as I say, we're looking forward to it. And I'm sure there'll be nothing left in the tank, and the guys will give everything they've got.
I'm sure last time Ayr United were here, Scott Brown mentioned the effect that our fans had and the noise they made, and maybe how off-putting it was to the visitors. Is that something that could also be a factor tomorrow, given how many home fans are going to be there?
Well, we're going to even more than we had that day, so yeah, I hope that's going to be the case. I know the Falkirk fans will certainly try to do that by the noise that they will make. As I say, even more and more of them in the stadium than what there was then at that time in the season. So yeah, I mean, yeah, but anyway, we've got to try and get an edge in any way whatsoever. It's just a little fine margins, a little percentage here, a little percentage there can be the thing that actually takes you over the line. So if that was to be the case, then I'd be delighted.
You mentioned the big win last week against Partick Thistle. Obviously, one of the main talking points from that game was the impact that Scott Arfield had. Only one of our January signings to make an impact so far, but maybe a chance for another one of our January signings now that Miller Thompson's available.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Eamon, if you're looking at them, Eamon's had one game and then was, got 70 odd minutes under his belt and was ready to go, and picked up an injury just before we played in the Scottish Cup against Raith Rovers, and it's been difficult to get him back since. But he looks like he'll go back into training next week with a view to potentially being available selection against Morton. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can match that actually happens. Miller wasn't available last weekend, so he is added to the squad for this weekend. It was a good win last week. Big Luke got introduced back into the fold, and I think everything in the squad is good. With a couple of injuries that we've got, Obviously Eamon, I'm saying, he's getting closer now, which is really, really good news. Ross McKeever had a scan last Friday, a week ago, and he's got some damage to tendons on the bottom of his foot. So it's a foot injury, and he's had a boot on since. He's got, I think, another couple of weeks with that before he'll then try to get rehabbed back in. So he's going to be out for a good few weeks. But, the forum of Gary and Barney getting Eamon back, we've still got a very, very strong squad to choose from.
Possibly a squad that gives you a little bit of a selection headache, but I think you mentioned before that it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. I'd much rather have that as like racking my brains how we're going to not got enough players, and what can you do when you've not got enough players, So we got plenty of players, we'd like every single one of them to be available. It's not quite the case. Selection is, difficult at times because there's not a lot to choose from, one player and another player. Very, very, everyone playing particularly well, and so that's the manager's job, and that's what you have done for a number of years, and it doesn't get easier, but it's very much a good time to be a manager at Falkirk because everything's going well.
Absolutely, John. Thank you very much, and all the best for tomorrow.
Thank you.